Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, or your regional equivalent. And it is 7 months since I've been here, but now it is next time. And that time means it's time to build. Now, there are a few little modifications I wanted to make to this, but I cannot for the life of me remember what they were, since it was about 7 months ago. And I'm very sorry that it takes me so long to put out a video. But in the meantime, I've put out other videos on the new series with the Tinkerell and the Fields expansion. It's just that I wanted to grab onto that while it was nice and new, because I wanted to experience the Fields expansion and share it instead of playing it on my own time and ruining a lot of the fun I was going to have with it. Ooh, let's hope this audio is recording at the right level. Anyway, I'm sure it's fine. You're all sadly used to dealing with my relatively soft audio anyway, unfortunately. Okay, let's do a few things here. Let's enhance that. Very nice 7 months ago. Lapse. Very well. Oh, what a ridiculous little ship. I'm slightly over budget, but we'll fix that. Well, how much money do we need? Ooh, too much. Also, I have Lapse's Flora Regulators, which is one of my little mods. I have it active just because I like to be able to plant seeds. I might not even unlock it. 102. Wow. Yeah. Let's just take out a drone for now, and a few. Wow, lasers are now 9. When did they become 9? When did that happen? Must have been the Fields expansion. I haven't touched the Reds in a very long time, or at least not in a major capacity. Minimalistically, interesting word. Minimalistically, yes, but not majorly. Okay, all right. Ooh, let me remember the capabilities of my warship. Ah, the acidic experimentium. What mighty main guns you have. Boom, 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 boom. Of course, we have our point defense Tempests and a bunch of laser drones. This is our drone carrier, after all. Alright, let's go back to default HUD. Now, where am I? I'm trying to get to 25, which is right over there. But I'm going to have to go through an agent to get there. 2525 is, of course, the very center of the galaxy, and I need to take it. I need to take it and build a fully functional acidic experimentium command ship, and then form a little fleet. And then that will be the end of the season for the poor old acidic experimentium. Gone too soon. So I would say. Then again, any one of my factions always gone too soon. I enjoy them far too much. Speaking of things, I need a factory for this little chap. Do I have factories unlocked? I have to. Come on. Am I blind? Factory. Oh, it's just so glowy. It's so glowy. Oh yes, I wanted to give this a factory or something along those lines. This was left incomplete. I don't know if I want to hang on to it. The adaption swarmer is effectively its endpoint. I think. Well, we could try to just see what it might have looked like in theory. There's no reason to destroy things unless one absolutely has to. Let's imagine if we'd given this thing a lot more tempests. A lot of tempests. Well, number one, it would have required a vastly larger amount of power, but number two, it could have been quite interesting. It's not perfectly balanced in the center. Something is missing. It's probably a block out of alignment somewhere. I can't spot it, not right now. But that's fine. Okay, well, we'll leave this over here, although I don't really want the AI to spawn it, but it's going to do it anyway. Let's just give it some thrusters in case the AI does try to spawn it, and we want it to, use the ship to some capability, hopefully. Ah, okay, interesting. There was a bit of a missing bit over here. That's why it was uneven. Oh no, now it's still uneven. You have to forgive me, I'm very blind. Hmm. It's been a while since I've been able to toy with my starships. My Starcraft, as you might call them. Oh well, that's copyright, so never mind. Oh no, now it's balanced. No, it was just the thruster. Okay, that's fine. Let's give it some braking. Well, relativistic braking, as I might call it. Okay, well that's something. It won't immediately be destroyed. So in case the AI does build one, it's there. But we have the Adaption Swarmer Mark II, which is our nice heavy carrier. And then of course we have the Sardocistic Ancidiary, which is our heavy battleship. Oh right, this needs to be upgraded to be fully kitted out. A sense of being. What is the difference between... Why is there a version 3 and a version 3? Someone tell me the difference. 6323p and 6246p. Okay. That's a difference of 80. There's an extra drone in here or something. Oh, this is here. There's only 37. One healing drone. Odd. An odd choice. And one healing drone. Oh no, that was that was a tactical move, wasn't it? I should probably have put these over here. Because then they're more in the belly of the ship, close to the command core, so they're... Well, in theory they will survive longer. Let's just make that little adjustment, and let's look at this and go, what is exactly going on? What is different? There's the building units over here. Anyway, I'm not going to tussle about that all too much. I just want to know which one is the one I should be building with, such that I don't lose something minute, some minute change that I made for a very good reason, probably. Or at least a decent aesthetic reason. I don't know about decent aesthetic reasons all too much. Hello, Recon. How are you doing? Why am I being strange? There we go. Thank you. Recon, you're a cheap little ship. Come here, sit here by Shrike or Shriek. Regardless of such, actually, you two are vastly more expensive. You're going here. This pricing structure is a bit out of whack, but I think I just grabbed them willy random, as they say in the classics. Anyway, I don't know why I'm caring about this, but I like to, so it's entertaining for me. Ah, Talon and Tsunami. Okay, alright, that gives us a nice amount of space. Aesthetic Vial, Moss Crab. I forgot about the Moss Crab. And our good old another little fig turn. Oh, we never got a name for another little fig turn. Little Corvy. Little Corvy never got a name. I guess people were just happy with Little Corvy. Research Center, you're also, of course, these two are part of the Reds as well. Okay. Sulfuric Spore. Alright. So what we need is an 8000p battleship. Why is this? Was this the one that I was equipped with? Is that why it's like that? Must be. Why is this Mark II slightly more expensive than that Mark II? What is going on here? Oh right, because I added the thingamajigs. Okay, let's delete this. Put this here. Grab this. Put it into there. I just want to hit delete on both of these, but I don't know. Well, this is going to be the 3 question mark. And the 3 question mark. I don't like losing little details that I've added, so until I 100% know why those were like that, I'm leaving them as they are. So time for the version 4. Now the version 4, I'm going to just keep there for now. Let's just put a little marker. Let's just say whip, hash whip, so that I know I need to come back to it and make it a proper thing one day. Alternatively, I delete this, I call this the version 4, and I start thinking about ways of improving it. Now, there's a lot of space, perhaps, that I could add to this middle segment, but I kind of like this little, almost Death Starry segment. What it needs is more capability of firepower. Potentially I could add more guns here, but that sadly would ruin the look, I think, a bit at least. We can do that. Then have these guns sort of sit there and have little shards come off of them. There, that fits a little more thematically. And we also make more use of this space that we just have sitting here. Okay. Ooh, it doesn't connect 100%. Ooh, that's going to upset me. Okay, let's just do this instead. There we go. It's a safe bet. And of course, we want to move this to here and you to over here, so that we don't necessarily. Yeah. So we have this. So they're going to sit there and repair the ship, and then there'll be these other ones that sit and repair, which is nice. Also, we do not have the Fields OST playing, the Fields soundtrack. Because I started this playthrough in good old normal base vanilla reassembly, and so I will continue with the same soundtrack, just for thematic sake. I like it. What could we technically add that wouldn't bloat the design? Well, I could add a few more blasters just for amusement's sake, but I don't really like that. I sort of want that little bit of just emptiness right there. It's nice. I know it's a finically, miniscopically insignificant detail, but that's the sort of thing that we like to do as ship designers, don't we? Make ships look nice, just in the tiniest little fractionative pieces. Also, I'm recording this video at 1080p, so this should hopefully be a lot nicer to look at. Not 60 frames per second yet, because even 18 minutes at 60 frames per second with 1080 is about a gig already. Gigabyte, and I don't really have the internet speed to upload that, in less than a day, so I'm not doing that. Instead, we will record at 1080p at 30 frames a second, and that's good. All right, now, what do I have to do here? Bum bum ba bum bum ba da dum 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 bum bum bum. Well, I think for now I'm going to just take back the old command ship, because it has a factory and everything already built into it. And I'm going to spawn a few, not battle nurses, not little Corvette Mark IV ones. I do have a copy. I do have a copy of the Battle Nurse Acidic Varia. Good. Always double check, you never know. It doesn't pay to rush sometimes. You just want to take it slow. Oh, and this was the... Oh, what happened here? Oh, I took this ship and messed around with it, I guess? Oh no, this was the building phase to get there. I don't know. Anyway, these are a little bit odd, so we'll put them over there. Actually, store the question marks with them as well, because we don't know what's happening with these 4 units. So we're going to just ignore them slightly. The acidic vial and the little fighter can be moved there, and we can move the adaptation swarm up like this. Little Corvée, it's like this. We'll move you here, and this is sort of now, this is sort of Sister Consigliere is basically our mainline command ship. And little Corvée changed a decent a bit into sort of, from a kind of a frigate into more of a, like a cruiser, if we were to be random about it. If we were to use Forever Cold War terminology, it went from like a sort of like an end tier kind class to a sort of a beginning tier beta class. And then this is sort of like a beta alpha. Well, it definitely becomes an alpha class down here, and still beta around about here-ish. Almost like a. And then these are the delta classes. We don't know what to do with them. Then a bunch of kind classes here. And the adaptation swarmer is actually a heavy ship, so we should probably move all the lightest designs down there. Since the adaptation swarmer is a sort of a, yeah, it's not really a mainline combat ship, so I'm going to put it sort of in this area that we go from the explorer to the more combat focus to the less direct combat focus to the very indirect combat in the sense, in the fact that they are popping out of the ships. But these are more civilian ships, and then these are the stations that don't really have much of a say in anything in that regard. So I'm going to put the 1, 1, 2, 2, there. Good. Okay, now we have a nice format of ships. Another little fighter needs to be given a name. Idekali Dentar. That's nice. I like that. No clue what it means. I'll make it up later. Acidic Vial. You are an interesting little ship. It's quite a tanky little ship. Doesn't have a lot of firepower. As an interesting point. This generates 100 per second. These guys take 6 energy per shot. They do 5 rounds per second. I'm sure I did the math on this already at some point. Maybe I didn't. But regardless of such, this ship needs a little bit more heavy firepower. Let's do that. Good. Okay, alright. Wow, it's been 16 minutes already. That's quite funny. Here, let me move my mic a little bit closer to my face. Maybe that's nicer. Sulfuric Spore. Okay, so let's consider review version 2. What is the difference? These two are pretty much... They are perfectly identical. 3482 by 3482, so... I'm going to delete this one. Just for sanity's sake. You notice I press delete very carefully. I don't want to actually hit something else. And you never know. Even though it needs 2 deletes. I love that it needs 2 deletes to delete. That's just a quality of life thing I like. Okay, so the weird poor Delta class ships, which are sort of the special ships that we don't have a strong clue on what to do with. Okay, the fleet is nice right now. I would like more variety in a sense, but we are limited to what the Reds have on offer. So we have a carrier, and where we have the primary command Dreadnought, which has some... hello, plant. This is the primary command Dreadnought. I think we all agree with that sentiment. It's the primary command Dreadnought. It's definitely got the firepower, let's be honest here. Oh, lovely. Isn't that just satisfaction? And then it's also got some healing beams. So it's quite a... It's sort of a passive command Dreadnought. It's more the sort of thing that would pump out lots of other ships and build them up and basically act as an anchor point for a fleet rather than be the frontline assault ship, which generally actually happens with bigger starships, with bigger vessels in real world combat. You know, carriers, things usually end up, or battleships and things usually end up pulling back and being more support roles, while the smaller ships press in because they're vastly more maneuverable. And oh no. You see, vastly more maneuverable. Crap. That's unfortunate. Okay. Alright. This ship needs a lot more heavy maneuverability. This might get in the way of the spawning, but it's a sacrifice we're going to have to make, unfortunately, or at least in theory. We'll see how it works in practice, but in theory it's a sacrifice we will have to make for the sake of stuff working a little bit better. Did I do the math on these big ones? So another one's 70, so 140, so cheaper for more big ones than a bunch of small ones. Can a ship get out of here? That's another question for another day. We'll see. That's why I like to keep it open. They're very prone to getting stuck in here anyway, I believe. Okay, we need to expand this segment and provide an area that's a little more flat for more thrust, while still making it look nice, understand? Which is a problematic venture in and of itself, just because of the nature of things. But we can do this. And, you know, it looks somewhat interesting, I suppose. It looks a little out of place. In theory, at least. I say in theory because I'm only looking at it right now and I'm not really playing with it. I don't have it on the ship. So it's not necessarily evident that it would be actually out of place just by me looking at it. But no, it is actually out of place. It's very out of place. Just because of the nature of it. Because there is these leg structures. Remember when 7 months ago, when we talked about this thing almost looking like a spider, which is very funny, and these extra legs on the abdomen. Abdomen. It is an abdomen. Yes, okay. You forgive me, my spider terminology is not always, well, general insect terminology. Thorax? Not abdomen. What am I talking about? Anyway, don't just look. If you're studying for biology, don't look at me. And if you're not studying for biology, you probably don't care. Unless you do, because you're someone who likes proper word usage, right? Come on. Exactly. Now, what else can I add to this? It's hard to say because I like the ship. It's very nice. It's got a good structure to it. It's quite well formed to a degree. I don't know where else I could expand it for more weaponry, unless it would be at the front. But front, I feel like I'd be pushing it at that point. I like the way the front is forming out. It looks quite nice, very appealing, very nice. So I'd have to experiment with that. And that just looks a little bit silly, you know. You want relatively large primary things. I'm sorry, I'm clicking and moving and doing all these sorts of things. I know it can be unpleasant sometimes. I don't really think about it. Sadly, not enough. Okay. I think. Oh yeah, I think that was the reason that I made the adaptive swarmer, was because it could be vastly more expensive. It could be vastly more expensive, just due to its function, because drones are so expensive. You can probably even just add more drones to the thing. I should probably do that anyway, just to up its cost, because I need to make a nice 8,000 piece ship, and I think that's what I intended for this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Can't 100% remember what I said 7 months ago, even though I did rewatch segments of the video, just to get myself back up to speed on what I was perhaps trying to do. But from what I watched, I don't think I don't, or at least I can't remember having the biggest of plans necessarily. I think I had some strategy there. What happens if I do this? I'm just toying around now. I want to see two square. I think you'd agree with me there. This gives it a nice out, in, out, which kind of, you know, builds to it. Looks nice. Still got these crops on the back, which is very funny. Maybe this ship should have a little repair drone. Maybe. Go away. It's only 37 compared to 77, which is quite the cost. Oh, I tell you what I can do. Didn't I just do this? Didn't I just do that? Where did I do it? What? How did... Oh, my word. Ooh, there we go. 8,000p. Perfect. Okay. Okay, now we just need the money to get the PowerPoints necessary to become that ship, then become that ship, and build a small fleet, and then capture the center of the galaxy. I'm gonna push through these. I need to build some support ships, which means I might need to do some planting. There's enough plants in the area, but I'd have to wait for them to fall to bits. Metamorph? The agent is right behind me, and the ship is very slow. Ooh, I might... okay. I don't have the cost. I don't have the cost. I don't have the cost. The money. I don't have the money. Okay, we're going to have to make some executive decisions here. For the sake of survival. Certain things must be sacrificed. For the good of survival, certain things must be relinquished. Namely these segments, unfortunately. Actually, if we tear off this, oh, I really feel bad about it, because it looks so nice, the little jutting out bits. But it's what we have to do. And this can't fit in there, I remember this. Why, that jogs memories. I was like, oh wait, wasn't I trying this before? I think I'm right. I think I'm just forgetting what I've done before. We can do that. I'm sure I've done this. I'm sure I built this and then tore it and then replaced it with that thing because it looked so... Ugh. It's really funny. Oh, my word. I might need to move these factories out here so that I can have space in here for more guns. Because the problem is that the space out here isn't really conducive to the look of having guns. You understand what I mean? Whereas having them in here is a little more conducive to the look. The hell do I mean? Well, it just looks better like this, I think, I'd say. If the guns are in here, then something weird. Outside, well, out here. And the factories are here, and they have relatively more space. So this might actually be a vastly more advantageous idea. In theory, I still don't like the fact that the guns are just kind of sitting here, like they're just... like they've just been plastered on by some random guy, otherwise known as me. So I need to make them belong. They need to just belong, you know? Okay, very nice, very nice. I'm saying that just to make myself feel better. I don't think that looks very nice, unfortunately. So another thing we might need is just more phases, perhaps. We already have a bunch of phases, but I like the nano assemblers. I could perhaps move them back here. Take that Tempest, put it there. Yeah, that might be a much better idea. Because then we sort of have this pinch in the middle. Although I did like the whole thing coming down here. So let's just do that again. Because it gives the form to the... it gives form to the behind segment. We want that. And these nano assemblers are here to obviously build ships. Faster, that is. Then they would be able to themselves give it a little bit of armor just in case. And nice, I think that's okay. 6.547, still a little ways away from having a 8,000 beat battleship, but it's better in its own sense. I could perhaps put some lasers on the wings here. I don't really like it. I like the wings to just be wings. They're not really wings. They're extensionary structures somehow. So which somehow, because, I don't know, structure. I was just saying structure, you know. Anyway, let's make these phases so that we have a little bit more. We could put phases at the back. That's okay. That works. I don't think they can. They can sort of reach. They can reach sort of to the front, but not 100%. I don't really want phases back here. This was the area. This was the area for the little repair drones. I'm gonna move them out of there. I don't like them being in there. Yeah, I'll put them here. That's quite nice, actually. That's a nice. It's a better spot for them to sit. Okay. So this is the version 4. What great and mind-numbing extensions of enhancements have we done? Not much. That's fine. Doesn't necessarily need to be. Relatively speaking. Yeah, I wanted to close that off, didn't I, to sort of encircle that little segment. But I think it just makes it look a little more out of place. That, or I'm just being very picky, and I just want to put more faces everywhere. Trying to get this up somewhere to cost, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Let's leave the original blocks there. I don't like to mess with my designs once I'm done with them all too much, because it's creation, and you don't really want to undo that creation because it's been created, and remaking it is not always a guarantee. It's very difficult to, well, almost impossible, I'd say, to rebuild things that you've lost, in a sense, the things that were creative, because you might get a general gist of them, but you won't necessarily get them again, because you'll be trying to copy the memory of them instead of reenacting the things you were thinking and feeling and actually building at the time, which, oh, thank you, which is a vastly different thing. Because, like, I'm looking at the ship and I'm thinking, okay, I want these parts to extend, and I want this to do this, and I want this to curl, and that to do that. And you're doing that when you're creating stuff, but if you're just trying to remake it from memory, you're being like, that thing kind of tried to do this, and that maybe did this, and it's just sort of a different frame of mind in a sense. Okay. Hello. Space has been under attack. Friendly station saved. Okay. Oh yeah, another one of my ships unfortunately annihilated. Anyway, let's put the version 4 down here because I'm not really using it right now. I'll take the Mark 1 too. Oh, I need water. Where's my water cup? It's all the way over there. This is tragic. While this rebuilds, give me a second. There we go. Okay. Water. Revitalizing water. Whew. Apologies. Very nice. Okay, battleship fully operational. Let's go forward, shall we? Safe journey, metamorphizing ship, liberated Sidian. Reverse. Reverse. I think this ship needs more reverse thrust. I'm gonna lock targets on that. Then I'm gonna try to just go forward. Go! This is a problem. Crystalline are very tough. They are very, very, very tough. Which, as you would expect, makes life difficult. Needs more thrust. Also needs more turning thrust. In my humble little opinion. When I built ships in the very beginning of Reassembly, I generally built them with thrusters kind of everywhere. But as I've gotten older in my ship productionary method, I've sadly stopped doing that. It's quite sad, because I think it generally helped quite a lot to just have a lot of thrust everywhere, being quite omnidirectional almost, so that no matter where you are, you can turn and move and do other things. Very beneficial. Look at that. Oh, much better turning now that I've actually got those turning thrusters on. Okay. It's so that we can hold back the Prometheum fire for a little bit. Oh my word. Okay. We don't really have the power on this ship. Hello, Indian. Get him. Right, do I have... Okay, it's actually disabled. Good. Oh, that's... yeah. Oh, actually, we've got a lot of stations here. Wait, do we technically own... We own 25. Yes! It's not the most glorious hold, I'd say, but, it's a hold. I still need to get 8,000. I need to get 8,000p, and then we need to actually build more stations here and fortify it. I like to do hour-long episodes, and this is definitely not the place that we suddenly end the entire series, so I'm going to be fortifying this place up for a little while, and we're going to build a little fleet. We're going to verse the Crystalline, as only the Reds can, with much fear and trepidation. Oh, the poor Reds. Oh, Defense guns, stop firing. Fire. It's gonna kill us. Pull back, back. Reverse thrust. Reverse thrust. Oh no. Okay. Right. That's aggravating. We need a tougher ship. We need the final command ship, which means we need money. So you guys have to excuse me as I quickly go grab some stations, get enough money to get 8,000 power points, and then make a very, very tough ship. Which for the Reds is basically a joke. But trust me, it'll be strong enough. What we need is enough frontal armor to allow us to survive a few seconds. Just enough to pelt the enemy with an excessive amount of Tempests. Oh, I forgot the name of the Tempest. Oh no, oh no. Okay, go. Go. You see, we can survive for a few seconds. A few seconds. It's not long enough, but it is a few seconds. Hello, little Corvée Mark IV. I didn't give you an actual proper name, did I? No, you still called little Corvée. Okay. I have to give little Corvée a name at some point. You can't just go around being called little Corvée. What will the other starship captains think? Okay. Now that I'm actually firing all guns on the systems and my other weapons aren't draining my power. Oh, my life. It's lagging my computer. That's far too many lasers. Oh, that was beautiful. Alright. Tell you what the ship needs. It needs a factory. Boom. La la la. Boom. Boom. Bum 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 bum. Just so I can collect some resources and sell it. Well, perhaps build some ships. I might have use for you, little friend. 3274 resources is not a lot, but can be. See, Tempests have 1000 HP. They are the most tanky thing in the entirety of the raids. So we could build a ship that is mostly frontal Tempests, and it might survive a very long time. Almost like the auto-assisting incendiary version 4 should have that. More so than it does already. I can undo the changes, so let me just experiment. Interesting. My apologies. Okay, good. All right. Wait. Why am I confused? Wow. What just happened? Why did that happen? I don't know. Okay, we can put guns like this. I don't like it, but we can do it. I'm not happy with it, but it'll work. Nice places to integrate these Tempests in such a way that they don't cause me insurmountable pain. Let's just put another phaser there. 6500, there's a lot of space. A lot of space. This thing is... yeah, tough. Let me go sell my resource. Whoa, that was very weird. My computer's bugging out, and now my voice is. That's not good. Why is that happening? Aye, aye. Well, that's fine. Okay. Trade. Good. Whoa, you made him. It just metamorphized into a sulfuric spore. That's an interesting. That's an interesting choice. Well, an Acidian is cheaper than a sulfuric spore. What did you change from? Need to wait for it to have factories before it'll. Wait. Sulfuric spore is a defense station. Where is it? Did I not finish? Hang on. Did I not finish? You've got to be kidding me. That's hilarious. I didn't finish this thing. Well, guess what? The sulfuric spore is turning into the sulfuric hive, and it's going to be our final master ship, our final master station, where all those before it have fallen or been assimilated, I suppose. It's a sulfuric hive, and the acid. Oh no! I've got a better idea. Leave the sulfuric spore as it is. However, give it a factory or two, because we can't have that happen. Can't have it go and not be a factory facility. It's not really. I didn't really design this with safe factory positions in mind, did I? No, not really. Well, there's a lot of factory space, so I'll just put a bunch of factories there. That's something at least, right? Right. That's something at least. I like the darker crystals with the lighter crystals, otherwise known as the storage with the normal blocks, which is quite nice. It's fetching. Fetching, as they say. Connect that. Can support this nice big crystallic acidic bulb on the side with that. Okay, well that's something. Something. I like it. I like it. Sulfuric spore. I'm just gonna give this thing, not that. I'm gonna give it this. I'm gonna give it its updated version. Problem is, it can't receive any resources, so it's kind of screwed at that point. Okay, all right. So the Acidian 1, the Acidian 2, which took me a long time to build, if I remember correctly. Now we need the Acidian 3. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this necessarily, because it needs to be grand, be very big, very powerful, but it needs to have that organic feeling to it, because I want that organic feeling. It's very fun, very nice. And so I need to somehow make that happen and still have it be big enough and grand enough and respectable enough in a sense to kind of be the primary acidic facilitaria. Let's try something interesting. Let's just do that. And then, ooh, oh wow, that's a weird brain trip for me, because it just looks like squished squares. That's really unpleasant. I need the pen roses to make it look proper. Then my brain can actually calm down and not think that the screen is being squashed. Shame. So I think that the way this is going to work is it's going to grow out. It's going to be built on this initial foundation. Maybe, maybe not. Just concept ideas. I want it to have primary bulb points, primary structure, with these little extruding parts off of it. But because this is meant to be the primary big thing, it's going to need a lot more thickness to it, if you understand. A lot more thickness. Wow, that's a really weird mental effect. Yeah, ooh, ooh, ooh. You know what I'm saying, right? Ooh, ooh. I'm just gonna leave that there. Say sulfuric spore. Do you want to, you want to be the sulfuric hive? Oh, that's really funny. That's really weird. Interesting. So Penrose ones just caused my mind to freak out. Well, it caused me to freak out because I'm used to looking at squished images. Because I've been making little games, I've been trying to scale. I've been trying to like do resolution scaling and other things. And so when I see squished stuff, I don't know. It's just it's yeah, it's interesting. A little bit disconcerting. That's annoying, but amusing and annoying in its own sense. I need to see if I can just fix that, overcome it. Well, I definitely can, but I mean, there's never been a problem like that. I've never felt that weird about. Ugh. That's interesting. Anyway, let me build one side. Let me turn this on its side, because that I like to build like this in the sense. We will expand upwards like this. I actually kind of like those removed segments. A bit of a mistake, but I kind of liked it. You see, even this is making me feel a bit weird looking at this. That's really sad. Me making games and struggling with resolution scaling and ending up with like squished views, and that being a traumatic moment has scarred me, as it would seem. Well, I'm gonna have to fix that, aren't I? Aren't I just? That's fine. I like overcoming things. It's entertaining. Over. Isn't there a song called Overcomer or something? I don't know. That's quite nice, I'm sure. Okay, let's do this on one side, that on the other. Gosh, I used to be so fast in the initial series of this. I could just go. Don't know how I had that energy. It's amazing. That was like years ago now. The Kalarians. Does anyone remember the great Kalarian Empire? Or however it was. Well, they were the great Kalarian Empire before the collapse. For that last final captain remained. So I think the law went. I made law for that. I had a lot of fun with the Kalarians. I miss the Kalarians. I should turn the Kalarians into a mod and release them on the workshop so people can play around with them. I've made all these massive factions, and I've never really, people have seen them but never gotten to play with them. So I've probably just released them as like a faction mod. So you can just toy around with the acidic experimentum and perhaps do your own little changes and show me them. It could be quite nice. Quite funny as well. Yeah, let's do some inversion hyperstructure here. What does that mean exactly? I wish I knew. Well, it's inverted structure. I don't know why I'm calling it hyperstructure. Hyperstructure is one of those things I like to say, just because it sounds entertaining. Hyperstructure. It's more structure. It's a very structure. Well, I mean, it means something, but I haven't really nailed it down. Well, it would be like... I don't know. How would you explain hyperstructure to someone that didn't understand hyperstructure? Hyperstructure is like... It's more like the idea of the structure. And it's like the form and the aesthetic of it, like the hyperstructure. Almost. You could almost think of it like that, maybe. But, okay, fine. You can go there. That's allowed, I guess. But I would have liked it to have been in there. I guess that doesn't look as nice, does it? Nah, not really. Oh, pardon me, it's very late. Very late. I'm just recording this because I looked and it's like, oh wow, it's been 7 months since I... Oh, felt kind of bad about it. And so I was like, oh, I better go record some reassembly. It'll be lovely. Because I always miss and enjoy. I always miss reassembly, and then I play it, and I'm like, ah, wonderful. I always miss reassembly. I just don't have that much time anymore. It's very sad to play. I mean, I didn't have much time to begin with, but I mean, like now, it gets better and it gets worse. It fluctuates as all things do. But well, depends really. As all things do. It's an oddly statement. Yeah. Okay, I like that. Okay, I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. Okay, let's just grab this. Cha, 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 and you there, and you there. Okay. Right, so we're doing this. We're having this interesting expansive structure over here. And we have all these other bits and bobs that could probably go places. And I kind of like it when the structure kind of curves around the weapons with them and everything. Because then everything just feels a little congealed, if that's a good word to... Coherent, thank you. Thank you, me. Who am I thanking? Myself, apparently. No. Sulfuric hive structure. It needs more space for generators. Even though the center area would effectively be the generator super spot. I like this little thing right here. This is quite nice. Like a little... I don't know. Okay. Have some generator structures. Not everything can be filled, my friend. Not everything can be filled with Penrose ones. Sometimes mistakes end up being quite nice. Didn't intend for it to do that at all, but it looks far better than what I was about to do. So I'm happy with it. Sometimes mistakes are beneficial. Sometimes they bring just a little bit of growth. Okay. Interesting, interesting. Ah, another one of these. Another one of these interesting happenings. Which I can't really all too much deal with too well. Ah, Reassembly OST. Lovely, isn't it? Ain't it lovely? Aren't it lovely? Isn't it lovely? Isn't it lovely? What an interesting name. Okay, let's stick a factory up here. Another one, mirroring structure. Mirroring structure? What am I saying? You know, I say a lot of things, and they don't always make total sense. But I think that generally they make some sense. Right? Come on, guys. And gals. Right? Desperately clawing at my sanity. Okay, how exactly shall I use these little segments here? So I kind of want to reinforce them. I also don't, because it means I have to cover them with stuff, which is hard to always make look like it truly belongs, but here we go, making it happen anyway. There we go. Good, good. Alright, that's fine, that's fine. Let's take this bit for now. Maybe it would help if I copied over the other side first. but that's gonna be interesting to do. Let's see how I can do this. Gotta just like a doctor with a scalpel. Go in for the kill. No wait, what? That's not how that works. Leave that one off. Take it, flip it, take it, turn it, done. Okay. Interesting, 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 interesting. Might need to expand it up this way now. In fact, yeah, I'll need to expand it up this way now. Because as they say, this side is expanded, but not the top. And so the top needs some expansion, as you might expect. Very self-explanatory, but yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good, I'd say. Ooh, we can have that kind of cradled. Yeah, let's do this with a bit of that. That looks very nice. Like a little, it's not bad. Something, at least. Oh, we're about to hit them an hour. Oh, okay, well, you know. I should really. Let's take the factories off here, because they kind of don't really fit anymore with that sort of structure style. Do this, do this. Do that. And this. And that, and that. And this. And that. And that. And that. And that. Again. Then it's done. How nice, as they say. What amusementality. Now I gotta carry it over. Hey. What amusementality. Okay, very nice. Alright, I like that. Sulfuric Hive. Well, it's not done. It's definitely not done. I'll tell you what, it needs certain enhancements. Perhaps more guns and weapons over here in this segment. Tell you what, some phases. This is what this thing needs. Yeah. I think this needs to kind of be surrounded by like a little extensionary structure. We'll see, we'll see. But before then, let's give it some drones. Yes, drones. Okay, that's actually a very good idea. Let's give it drones. We're going to have to dial up the power production by a large amount, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Then, of course, a few assemblers. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we need assemblers off the side of it. Can't go like that. It has to go the other way around. You might ask me why. Because this is why. At least in theory. Here, let me just erase one side of it so we can stop. So I can stop jumpy pumping about jumpy pumping. That's a very odd statement. Anyway, it's been So this is getting somewhere. But yeah, it's about time that I don't want to have to. Oh, I want to finish it. I need to finish it. I want to finish it. It's okay. There's more time. There's more time. Okay. Come on, laps. There's more time. You can do this later. I don't want to. I want to get it done. I want to just finish it. Ah, well, a bit of self-restraint at this point. Let's just copy this. I'm just gonna copy it over, plop it in. That's fine. That's very nice, actually. That's really nice. And this would be more of a, because we don't really, I don't want to go too extreme. Sulfuric spore, sulfuric node. I'll call this a sulfuric node, and then there's the sulfuric hive. It'll be the T3. Good. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to... Oh, wait. No, it's not enough. Accept money. Why would we not accept money? Yeah, let's build it. Let's build a proper sulfuric spore. And then remove this. Ooh, and the little bits. And put those drone launchers back. Good, sell that off. And I'll do that next time. So until next time, everybody. Cheerio. Hey, Reassembly. I missed ya.